Welcome all. The music you just heard is your signal to settle into your seats, and I encourage you to come forward. I have spots in the front row always. We have spots in here. Good morning, good morning. Come on in. There are still seats available in our pews up in here. Joe would love to have someone come sit next to him. Before we begin, we have just a few announcements. I encourage you to check the Sunday handout, so capably organized by Susan every week. Thank you, Susan. Many things in here to be aware of. And I'm going to ask for Frank. He has an update for us on our pledge drive. He's going to come forward for a second.
You're asking, didn't we end this pledge drive a week ago? Yeah, we did. And those of you that got your pledges in, thank you. But there's a really unusually large number of pledges still out. So I'm here to ask you to please get your pledge cards, these little guys, get them in. This is high anxiety time for members of the pledge drive team. At night I can't sleep. I see these cards just wandering loose. Where are they? So please get those cards in. We need them to make a budget for 24-25. We don't know what our budget is going to be. That's it. Get your cards in.
Thank you, Frank. Let's all help his anxiety go down. We'll start now. We can get a calming space in the room right now. All right, are we ready to begin? Let's go. Good morning and welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching from home, we are so glad you are here. My name is Corinna Whitaker-Lewis, and I serve as your Director of Religious Education. My pronouns are she, her. At San Gabriel, we welcome all, and today that means all ages. So if we have some families show up with the younger ones that they have with them, we have some things for them to use and be busy with during the service. This is also a shortened service, and by all ages that means we are going to have discussion questions at the tables about the theme of today's service, as long as some hands-on activities if you would like to do those as well. So we do this on the first Sunday of the month, and I appreciate your flexibility as we share this space with those who are interested and wanting to be with us, young and old. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. There are over 1,000 UU congregations around the country and around the world. All of us are working together for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. Sustaining each other here in community is the first step in that long road of work. If this is your first time here, we especially welcome you. We are so grateful you are here today. You are welcome, of course, to stay with coffee and conversation and those discussion questions that I mentioned. And members, please look for those visitor tags and extend a hearty welcome. If you'd like to learn more about us, there are visitor cards that you can fill out that will get you on our newsletter. Please put those in the basket when we pass those. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We are going to greet the day in song, this beautiful day that was blessed with rain yesterday and the night before and for several days now. Our opening hymn is familiar. It's the tune you just heard. It's a short song, and so we're going to sing it in rounds. We're going to be very brave about this, and I think we have some people to help us with that. So it's short. We're going to do it a few times, but yes, it's that "Come, come, whoever you are" song. Are we ready to get started?
One time, everybody together.
One time, everybody together, and then we'll
That side of the room.
then we'll jazz it up. All right, let's give this a go.
Okay.
As we light our chalice, we create sacred space together. I call you into this time of connection within, among, and beyond with the words of Reverend Julianne Lepp. We seek our place in the world and the answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. And may the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth, of wisdom, and welcoming of multiple truths. And children at St. Gabriel learn some lighting words of their own when we go out to the little house for our time together. And what we would say in this moment is, we light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism, and we might make some U's with our hands and maybe a little chalice as well. That's next level right there. And we would say, we are a church of open minds, and we are a church of loving hearts, and we are a church of helping hands. And then you can help me turn on our fabulous chalice by clapping at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So frustrating. All right. Today is a special Sunday, and I'm so glad so many of us are here today to celebrate together. Eric, our new pulpiteer, is with me as well. We are going to recognize a very special person in the congregation, Hush Childers. Hush is right here. You can join us up here, or you can... All right. Eric and I both have some words we want to share. Eric is not mic'd, so he's going to go back
Mic
up
myself.
there. All right, there we go.
It's a bit of an act of bravery to come to church for the first time. You've looked at the church website and you're intrigued. You're wondering, maybe St. Gabriel is the faith home that I've been looking for. But you're also bringing children with you. Any risk in attending is somewhat magnified. What will this place offer my children? Will they be safe? Will they have fun?
Warm demeanor and professional expertise are the reassurances that parents need, whether they are visiting for the first time or are active members of our congregation. To attract visitors and build our beloved community, we must pass many tests. We must be welcoming, we must be inspiring, and we must be engaging. But first, we must be welcoming. Hush has offered welcome to our families so wonderfully for 10 years. And we are so grateful to recognize, it is such a crucial role, and we are so happy to celebrate with them.
We have some small tokens of appreciation for you, and after the service, we will celebrate with special food and drink, including, at your request, I believe, blackberry cobbler. But the most important thing is to, again, express our gratitude to you for your steadfast care and commitment, and especially in the face of all the changes we've been through as a congregation. Thank you for your love of our little ones, and I look forward to continuing to create welcome for all of our families with you in the future. Thank you.
Yes, I like the woos. All right, so we use love to help each other learn and grow. Let's share guesses about what might be in this wonder box today. A brick, I love it. It is kind of clunky. Any other thoughts? What might be in here?
Paperback book.
Paperback book.
A deck of cards.
A deck of cards. What was that?
Potato.
Oh, potato. I'm going to open it up. Is actually, someone else like to open this up and see what's in here? All right, Sarah, you got it.
You know I gotta know. Oh, it's an umbrella. It's a
You can, if you're not superstitious, you should go ahead and just open that up. What does that make you think of, an umbrella? Certainly appropriate for the weather we've had. Any other thoughts about umbrellas, what they...
I carried one recently at yours birthday party to keep the sun off.
Yes, can help with not just rain, but sun. Any other thoughts about umbrellas?
Mary Poppins.
What's that?
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. So true. All-encompassing. Inclusion, love, yes? Protection.
As a kid, I jumped off the garage roof. Settled down.
That was, I think, maybe Mary Poppins' influence. All right, I've got a book to share with you. It's one of my favorites, and I've shared it before. It's called The Big Umbrella, and it's by a daughter and mother team, Amy and Juniper Bates. The big umbrella by the front door. There is an umbrella. It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. And we've got what? We've got rain, we've got leaves, we've got sun. It likes to spread its arms wide. It loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you are tall or hairy or plaid It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Some people worry that there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There's sun and rain. There is always room. The end. So if there had been some littles up front, not just the young at heart, but if some actual young, I would have been sitting with them and reading the story directly to them, and you all could have listened along. We have had a lot of rain lately. We always need rain in Texas, and so we had a book about a special umbrella. And what do you think we were supposed to learn from that book? Any thoughts? Yes?
A nice gesture goes a long way.
A nice gesture goes a long way. I love that. Any other takeaways? There was room, yes. With some sort of magic, it made room. Yes, Clara.
There's room in our UU10/umbrella for everyone.
Oh my gosh, did you read my sermon?
No.
She said room for all of us under our UU tent. Oh my gosh.
You'd be surprised how many things in life aren't a zero-sum game.
Yes. It's not pie. Yes, there's not some more, others less. Yeah, it just grew and grew, and it didn't say no to anyone. So whether you were tall or plaid or had 4 legs, you could be under the umbrella if you wanted. So again, thinking of this and reminding me of San Gabriel and who we are as UUs and what we say every Sunday, whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. In Unitarian Universalism, we put love at the center, and we ground everything we do in an empowering love. And one way we express that love is by welcoming all, just like the umbrella welcomed all and got bigger and bigger as needed. So I have a little activity. I could use 2 helpers. This involves Sharpies, so behave yourselves. There's one side. There's some Sharpies because I felt like these leaves needed a Sharpie. You may have noticed that our bulletin board when you came in has a large tree on it. And you may have noticed that it has the words, "We are many, we are one." But the tree is bare, so we need some leaves to go on it. Please take a moment to write on your leaf something you feel is unique about yourself. About yourself. It's anonymous, you don't have to put your name if you don't want to, but something about yourself that you think is unique, much in the way the umbrella welcomed people who were plaid or tall or 4 legs or whatever it might have been. This can be something that's a physical aspect, I'm tall, or a spiritual practice, meditating before bed, or I believe in a loving God, or I am humanist, or some other part of your identity. I love to read, I love to cook, I'm a runner. Anything you like that you want to put down on that leaf. And we will show with the tree how even with all our differences or our commonalities, we'll see if we get some doubled up uniquenesses, that our leaves are still growing on one tree, and that we are many, but we are one. San Gabriel subscribes to a Unitarian Universalist curriculum called Soul Matters, which offers resources for our connections groups, those are our small groups, for our worship services, and for religious education. And the theme changes each month, and this is the first Sunday of the month. And this curricular year, this church year, they chose to focus on our new UU values that are expressed very specifically as justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, with love at the center. And our theme for the month of May is pluralism. And the very specific language around this value is we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. There's a lot to unpack in that description. A colleague and mentor of mine, Kathy Smith, who's the director of religious education at our sibling church in Baton Rouge, she developed a group of lessons for young children around these new values, and for pluralism, she wrote a little note for the teachers on how to introduce pluralism to the children. She says, "We are a pluralistic faith, meaning we believe there are many ways to connect with the divine or sacred, and there is no one right way to be religious or spiritual. There's room under that umbrella. There is room for many different individual spiritual paths in Unitarian Universalism. Unitarian Universalists honor many spiritual practices. This is part of being a pluralistic faith, that there are many practices and no one right practice to connect with community and with the divine. Similar spiritual practices can be found in many different religions and religious communities, and each person needs to find spiritual practices that are meaningful for them. We encourage each other, we learn from each other, we listen to each other with curiosity and respect, and we try to find ways for everyone in our church or community to get what they need. I know one practice that we developed with children, and I've shared regularly with the congregation, is the Buddhist metta meditation. So that's just one example of how we are so lucky to be able to decide what resonates well with us and use that as our spiritual practice. And the Wonder Box gives us an opportunity to learn from each other. And I think that when we see that object, we all have different ideas. I'll never forget there was one time there was a packet of seeds in the Wonder Box. And I've used this example many times. And we were talking about it, and I said, what do seeds need to grow? And we got a lot of those answers, like, well, we need soil, and we need water, and we need light. And there was one child, because it was a Wonder Box moment, we were all together, and the child says, love. And everybody was like, oh, yes. And we stopped for a moment, and that was a special time when all the grown-ups in the room got to hear from a child and learn from a child. And that moment also showed that we as a community understood that all of us, regardless of age or other identities, had things to teach and learn from the other, and we made space in the worship service to help that teaching and learning happen. And that decision was reflective of a responsible search for truth and meaning, and it's how we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, and that we celebrate our commonalities and our differences both. And it is good to be welcoming and respectfully curious of those differences and take the opportunity to learn from each other. Is perhaps that decision to create sacred space together, all of us, in and of itself, a spiritual practice. And I love that this Sunday is also just a further example of how we are trying to create that space for so many different types of people. The quotes in the Soul Matters packet for small groups that many of you all will be engaging with this month are very thought-provoking, and I've selected a few of those and put them on the tables in the back, and I hope they will spark some ideas about pluralism and what this means about different paths that we all are coming, but we are yet all together at the same time. And there's some questions from the packet as well, and Eric is here to help facilitate some of that. So I hope you will take that opportunity. As your religious educator, I encourage you to use that discussion as a way to clarify for yourself what your UU values mean to you and your own understanding of your identity as a Unitarian Universalist. One of the quotes that really resonated with me was this one from Zen Buddhist priest Reverend Angel Kyoto Wilkins Sensei. It's a great example of pluralism right there. She shares, inclusivity is not how do we make you a part of who we are, but how do we become more of what you are? And I think that Wonderbox moment is a good example of that kind of inclusion. If we want our community to be welcoming to children and their families, then we create space and moments where children get to interact with us on their terms. And we, the adults, take on the beginner's mind, the wondering mind of a child. And as we listen and learn from children, what they bring and what they have to say in that moment. So we intentionally changed the order of the service to make that possible. And what else could we do? So yes, certainly an all ages service like this one is one other step. What would it be like if all of our services were multi-generational? That created spaces for all of us to learn from each other. What other changes could we make about how we gather in community for it to be more welcoming of a variety, a diversity of people? The time that we gather, the food that we offer, the music that we make, the location. Could any of those things change? Should they change? Because if we are going to build beloved community, we might need to unlearn some of the things that we think are the ways we should be together, and stop asking people of marginalized identities or identities of folks who may not be with us right now. And by that I kind of mean not white, not older, not able-bodied, not well-off, not straight, not cisgender. Those are kind of some of our profile right now. To become more of what we are, we need to stop asking those folks to stop becoming more of what we are, those identities, and become more of what they are. True pluralism requires making connections across difference, and we might need to be expansive in our approaches to belief, theology, and the connections between people of different faiths and backgrounds and identities and experiences. We celebrate that our differences are beautiful and enriching, providing opportunity to learn from one another as we create beloved community together. And may that become a shared spiritual practice of our own. Uniquely Unitarian Universalist, we are many and we are one. May that be so. All right, we can pause for a minute. That's a little bit of a lot to take in. First, I'm gonna take a deep breath. We can reflect on how we are embodying pluralism as a congregation, as individuals. One way we do that is by listening and learning from one another and our families in our sharing of joys and gratitudes, concerns and sorrows. So we can settle into our seats a little bit and give each other the gift of attention. Now is a time for sharing what you're feeling on your heart. What joys or gratitudes you'd like to lift up, or what pains or sorrows you want to ease through sharing. We can create a circle of caring together. Thank you for your sharing. Let's take a moment, a meditative, prayerful moment as we reflect on the passing of good people and how we will miss them, on the joys of a widening circle of care for LGBT people in our houses of faith, for schooling for our children that sees them as whole people. I want to lift up a prayer that we continue to witness the youth of this country leading us, and may they be protected, and that may the machines of war end and rust. Amen and blessed be. As a meditation on the joys and sorrows we just heard, we are now going to sing another short one. It's number 1057 in the Teal hymnal, and we can stay seated for this. The lyrics again will be projected, and as it is short, Jackie's going to play it through one time for us to hear the melody, and then we will sing it together. Thank you. Love having these voices. Jackie, as part of our offering, is going to be bringing us some Cinco de Mayo celebration. Their piece is Cielito Lindo, a Mexican folk song. We take an offering to sustain this space that we call home, to support and the work of this fellowship. If this is your first time here, please feel free to let that pass you by. If you'd like to put in the card that you filled out to get our newsletter, you can do so. But thank you. Your presence this morning is a gift in and of itself. And if you filled out a little leaf, go ahead and drop that in the basket as well, and we'll get those on the bulletin board later. I'm singing the words, and my Spanish is very rusty, but it's like, no cantan, no llores, si cantan no llores, which is like you want to sing instead of cry. Thank you again to Hush. Make sure to come and celebrate with our blackberry cobbler. Be sure to come have some discussion on our pluralistic faith with Eric at the tables. Our craft is an umbrella craft, so if you feel like making an umbrella, you can do that. I'm looking for my special little thing. Oh, here it is. All right, so children also would distinguish their chalice with special words, and we would say, as we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return. And so again, let's clap and see if we do better this time. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And may you take these words from Teresa Youngblood with you today, good people. May you be invited to the party. May you be asked to dance. May you be amazed to learn that what your own precious heart already knows, and that it leaps to the song. And in this moment, whirling in this expansive affirmation of all creation, an embodiment of the divine's boundless love, may you turn and face the door, arms outstretched to sing in the wide welcome, the ever-changing song of togetherness to those who have yet to discover that they too belong here. All right, may it be so. Are we ready for treats? All right, we are ready for treats. Let's go see. I hope it got warm. Is it ready? Is it ready? The blackberry cobbler?
Yes, it's in the oven.
All right. I'm excited. Yeah, they want to hear the song, I guess. Bridget, we ate a little bit on the smaller one last night to taste test, and Bridget was like, it's more sour than I thought it would be. But hopefully with the ice cream.
Put it on that little table.
Okay.
We can get something to put on.
Well, there's a tray here too. You want to use that? Oh, I don't know. Oh, no.
Yeah, we could put it on your, well, no.
Yeah, on the metal tray?